From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network and Troy campuses around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision Weekly.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Weekly. We're glad you joined us for this look at what's happening in and around Troy University. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. Well, there's a new feature at the Troy Regional Medical Center that could potentially lead to saving lives in emergency situations. As Deborah Bogart shows us, this life-saving edition is up in the air.
Troy Regional Medical Center cut the ribbon on their new Life Flight helipad Tuesday afternoon. The helipad will be home to a Haynes Life Flight helicopter that hospital officials say will potentially save lives.
The purpose of our helicopter is just to improve the quality of care that we give to Pike and surrounding counties. So we're excited about that. When moments count and minutes count, Haynes is here to make a difference.
And Haynes says that the Life Flight helicopter will be available for transporting a variety of patients with critical needs to major medical facilities in a three-state area.
I'd like to thank Troy Regional Medical Center for allowing us to be here. We just want to be a partner and build upon what they already do a good job at. If they have a critical patient they need to transfer to UAB or to Atlanta or something like that to a specialty center, we'll be able to take those patients in a rapid transport. We transport trauma patients, of course. We transport heart patients and also stroke patients, any type of critical care needs that they may have, critically ill or injured patients. We can fly to Atlanta, Mobile, Pensacola, Birmingham, so we can fly in the tri-state area.
Grimes says that the time saved by being able to transport a patient via helicopter could make a major difference in their survival.
I think that anytime you look at a life and you're able to carve minutes off of a stroke or a heart attack or a drowned and those type of things, you're saving lives, and that makes a difference. And that's what Haynes is offering to Pike and the surrounding counties.
Barrett adds that this service will not just benefit Pike County, but residents in the surrounding area as well.
Well, of course, we're going to cover Troy and Pike County, but we're also going to cover 10 counties surrounding Troy.
Deborah Bogart, Troy TrojanVision News.
Troy University's Freshman Forum gives Troy University's newest students a chance to get involved with student government. Well, last week, the Freshman Forum passed on some leadership skills to an even younger group of students. Courtney Chandler has the details.
On Thursday, Troy University Freshman Forum hosted its annual Excellence in Leadership Conference for high school students across the state to learn about servant leadership.
We're teaching them to exceed, expand, and explore. My job today for the games is to teach them to exceed, whether working as a group or in a small group or as an individual. So really it's just mainly teamwork building.
The conference gave students tools to be successful leaders and taught them how to work together through activities and games. One student talked about some of the games that he in particular enjoyed playing.
Okay, well, first I had the Oreo one. That was the individual one where I competed by myself. It was kind of weird. You put an Oreo on your head and had to get it in your mouth, but I was not successful and I kind of lost. But another fun one was when we had to lead the blind up the amphitheater all the way to the top. I had a lot of fun doing that one.
Mackenzie hopes that the conference gave students more knowledge on becoming better leaders and create relationships with others to be successful.
I just hope for the entire day they gain connections. They learn how to make relationships, they learn how to lead effectively, they learn how to follow effectively, just whichever suits their personality and what they're supposed to be doing.
Courtney Chandler, Troy TrojanVision News.
One of the more popular issues during the month of October encourages people to think pink and raise awareness for breast cancer. Well, the Student Counseling Center and Trojan Outreach are encouraging Troy University students, faculty, and staff to think purple this month for domestic violence awareness. Sarah Singletary has the details.
Trojan Outreach and the Student Counseling Center are coming together this month to promote domestic violence awareness. Trojan Outreach members were on the quad Monday afternoon hoping to share information and raise awareness on campus.
We're just hoping that they read over it, kind of educate themselves a little bit. We're not really telling them anything up front. We're just handing them the cup and the information and hoping that they kind of, read it on their own. But hopefully throughout the month we'll get some more information out to them.
The month of October is dedicated to several issues ranging from bullying to breast cancer, but the Student Counseling Center chose to focus on domestic violence awareness because of its relation to college students on campus.
We focus on domestic violence because we think that healthy relationships are something that every college student deals with while they're here. And there are a lot of unhealthy norms in relationships that people on campus are used to.
While domestic violence can be a sensitive subject, the Student Counseling Center and Trojan Outreach are working to make this month both educational and fun.
All throughout this month, we're going to have a bunch of different events. We're going to have fun dating ideas. We're going to be promoting. We're going to have a campaign, and it's going to be Bring Back Dating, where we kind of address hookup culture and encourage people to, pay attention to what they're doing, kind of dating again, bringing back dating and getting people to ask people out on real dates and take them out to dinner and stuff like that.
Domestic violence awareness events will be held every Wednesday this month. Sarah Singletary, Troy, TrojanVision News.
And one of the weekly events put on by Trojan Outreach focused on the phrase Netflix and chill. It's become a term for casual hookups between young people, and Trojan Outreach was hoping to make students think harder about casual relationships. Once again, here's Sarah Singletary.
Domestic Violence Awareness Month continued on Wednesday with a Trojan Outreach event they titled Netflix and Chill. Trojan Outreach member Nelson DeLuca shares with us why they chose this as the theme of the event.
We just thought that, everybody can relate to it. It's been a big thing. Everybody's been talking about Netflix and chill and how it doesn't actually mean Netflix and chill. So we thought it'd be a fun little thing to kind of draw people in.
In addition to raising awareness against domestic violence, Trojan Outreach is doing their part to promote sexual health and healthy relationships, a need they believe should be met on a college campus.
I think it's really important because a lot of students aren't dating like they used to be. A lot of students are just hooking up. They're getting on Tinder, they're getting on Grindr, all these apps, and just hooking up, and they're not paying attention to the risks that come with that. Like, we're not telling people not to hook up, we're just telling people to know what they're doing and how to be responsible about it.
And although Trojan Outreach made this event fun with trivia-style questions and goodie bags, they hope that every individual who participated learned the importance of protection and responsibility.
We really just hope that they get a sense of protection and safety, and hope that they kind of will be more responsible when they're making the decisions that they make, and hopefully they decide to, make the better decisions.
Domestic violence awareness events will be held every Wednesday this month. Sarah Singletary, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The Pike County Fair was in town this week, and the festivities kicked off with a demolition derby. Samantha Charles was there and has the details.
The Pike County Fair kicked off with a bang with its first ever demolition derby. And residents of Troy, Alabama came out to watch this hard-hitting event at the Pike County Fair.
Here at Troy, this is our first time here. And what was going on, this is adult Dodge cars for anybody that's curious about it.
A demolition derby, in my opinion, you put a mess of cars out there in the field, and the last one running wins, whatever prize that might be.
The derby featured local and rookie drivers from all over the state of Alabama, each battling it out for the grand prize, trophies, and more.
Tonight at this demolition derby, we had a total purse of, I believe it was $1,500. The winner tonight took home $1,000. The runner-up took home $250. Plus, we always give trophies.
Now that the demolition derby is over and the last car is standing, the Shriners say it was such a hit that this will not be the last time you see the demolition derby here in Troy.
As time went on and I traveled around, I seen what a success they were other places, so we tried it. We guessed that we had seating here for about 600 to 800 people. Look at the bleachers.
Samantha Charles, Troy, TrojanVision News.
And while drivers were crashing cars to kick off the fair, some Troy students were bashing a car to wrap up rivalry week, leading up to the battle for the belt against South Alabama. Sarah Singletary has the smashing details.
Friday afternoon, students gathered on the social quad for the Rivalry Week Car Bash. The Student Government Association encouraged students to show their Trojan pride via sledgehammer, beating up a car spray painted with anti-South Alabama sayings. Whether it be midterms or the rivalry, SGA Senator Deronda Wilkins says the car bash is for anyone looking to release some anger.
This was a way for the students to get their anger out for midterm week, also just any aggression they have towards South and rivalry week in general, and you just can take it out on a car in the middle of the social quad. Who wouldn't want to do that?
An event that was scheduled for Monday that is now taking place on Friday because of rain. Students have been anticipating the car bash all week and are now lining up to take a whack at it.
What I really like about the car bash is how everybody is showing their Trojan pride and just showing how much they love this school by bashing the other school, our rival school. I just think it's a really great way to get your anger out before the game so we can stay classy at the game.
Rivalry week comes to a head tomorrow night at the Battle of the Belt. Students say the best part of tomorrow night's matchup will be the win.
Well, I'm in the band, so, we're going to be playing some good music, and we're going to, try to take down South Alabama's defense and their confidence, and hopefully we'll win.
I'm looking forward to winning, of course. Obviously, we're going to win. We're the best school ever. I'm looking forward to everybody showing their Trojan pride, all decked out in black for the game. I just think it's going to be a lot of fun.
And we'll take a short break. When we return, we'll see how Troy students are learning to become filmmakers right here on campus. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Look at me. Hey.
Raymond, look at Mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry. Maybe he can't hear us. Maybe we're not stimulating him enough. Maybe it's a phase.
Avoiding eye contact is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Now back to Troy Trojan Vision News Weekly.
Students were able to get a free snack outside of the Trojan Center on Thursday as the Mother Teresa Catholic Ministry conducted their Cupcakes for Life event. It's a pro-life event meant to raise awareness about abortion. Nathaniel Rodriguez has the story.
The Mother Teresa Catholic Newman Ministry gave away free cupcakes outside of the Trojan Center this Thursday as part of the National Cupcakes for Life event.
The ministry's cupcakes include, but are not limited to, vanilla, pumpkin spice, lemon, red velvet, and chocolate.
However, the event was not just for providing students with a sweet treat to eat. It was also meant to raise awareness on the topic of abortion.
We're basically just out here providing cupcakes for everyone to show an anti-abortion because everyone deserves to be able to celebrate a birthday, so it's just kind of our way of bringing awareness to ending abortion. We just have a bunch of little pamphlets about different adoption and different information for women who are in crisis situations and other ways that they can learn and resources they can go to opposed to just going to an abortion clinic and having an abortion.
The Newman Ministry was not the only organization hosting the event. It was also joined by the university's secular pro-life group, Students for Life. Members of Students for Life wish to show solidarity with the ministry and assist in the tabling event.
Well, I mean, it's just something they've already done for years, so it's still their thing. But of course, Students for Life, our whole mission on campus is to raise awareness about abortion. And because that's exactly what this event does, we wanted to definitely help them have people to man the tables and just have a presence at the table with them.
Nathaniel Rodriguez, Troy Trojan Vision News.
This week was National Mental Illness Awareness Week, and Troy University Psychology Club gave students a chance to use their artistic talents to introduce them to a way of treating mental illness. Casey Freeman has the story.
Troy students can paint whatever they like on a banner to increase awareness while using a relatively new type of therapy.
Today we're here on the quad. We're having different students come and paint whatever they feel. It raises support for Mental Illness Awareness Week, and it supports art therapy because it's kind of a new therapy that helps stimulate the mind and helps with mental health.
While art therapy can be used to help people with mental illness, Terrell wants to make this activity relatable to college students.
We got this idea from art therapy because it helps stimulates the mind, and it's been shown to help people with mental illness recover, and a treatment method. So since us college students are constantly stressed out, we thought this would be a good way to help promote this. We hope that after painting, they can just feel a sense of refreshness. Sometimes it helps to just paint whatever. You can even paint something where you got problems and you paint over it to resemble marking that out of your life, recovering or getting over it.
For many students, freestyle painting on this banner is another way to relieve stress, but hashtag I am stigma free means so much more.
Hashtag I am stigma free is associated with this year's Mental Illness Awareness Week. It was conned up by NAMI, National Alliance on Mental Illness, and the reason they made this their hashtag is because typically people with mental illness have to deal with a lot of negative things that society views about them. So this year they're really focused on getting rid of those stigmas.
Every 2 weeks, Troy students have the opportunity to talk about some of the latest news and get a free meal in the process. Ryan Renfro has the details from this week's Talk of Troy.
To some people, witchcraft may be a thing of the past, a historical reference to a time period that has come and gone. But for students and teachers that attended this week's Talk of Troy meeting, the idea of witchcraft may not be an idea at all, and in fact more common in today's society than one would expect.
There are various things going on in the culture. When anytime we see, whether it's Pokemon or Dungeons and Dragons or even the Harry Potter books, there are people that have burned those books thinking that maybe there was some connection to the devil, particularly in countries like Africa and India and in South America, in rural areas where people are being accused of practicing witchcraft and often being brutally beaten, sometimes murdered, burned.
The talk was tied into the theater department's production of the play The Crucible, which follows the accusations of the Salem witch trials in the 1600s.
The play is a really, really powerful play, still really relevant today. They have a wonderful production that they're going to be doing here at Troy. But the play really was more a commentary on what was happening in the 1950s during the era of Joseph McCarthy, and people were afraid of communist infiltration.
One Troy student preparing for The Crucible shares how this week's talk about the presence of witchcraft affected him.
It hurts that we're not more civilized to move past this and work through these things instead of just throwing people under the bus, you know. That's the biggest thing, seeing those videos and that it's still happening in these rural, third world countries. It's horrible.
Ryan, Troy, TrojanVision News.
One Troy University club is letting students get a taste of Hollywood right here in Troy. Haley Greathouse introduces us to the Cinematography Club.
Lights, camera, and action. Have you ever dreamed of acting in or directing a film? Well, there's a club on Troy University's campus that will let you do just that. The Cinematography Society made its way back to Troy University's campus in the fall of 2014, and since then has produced many promotional videos and one original short film.
I kind of started it back up just to provide a place for people who are interested in film production, just to kind of get together, share ideas, share equipment, and just make movies.
Students can learn how to use a variety of cameras just by walking into a studio. But Cinematography Club adds an extra layer of creativity and mobility, allowing students to take their creative passions to a new level.
We're either making like narrative stuff that's original shorts and stuff we've written, which we're going to do 2 of this semester. We did 1 last semester, and we also do some more promotional type videos for clubs and organizations on campus as well.
It takes a team on and off camera to make a production, and working towards a common purpose is not always easy, but has its rewards.
I directed last semester, and that was a whole lot of fun, and I just enjoy getting to help other people learn and participate in it as well.
Getting to be in one room and you all have one main goal, and so just achieving that goal together really helps the club and really makes you feel connected to different people.
Anyone can join the club. The only requirement is a desire to learn.
Just show up. I mean, you don't have to know what you're doing. As long as you're just interested and want to learn, you're welcome to come at any meeting.
Haley Greathouse, Troy, TrojanVision News.
We're going to take another quick break, but when we come back, we'll hear some offerings from our friends at Troy Public Radio. So don't touch that dial.
Mom, can we get some ice cream? Please, Mom, please.
No, we're having dinner soon.
Please.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
Now back to Troy Trojan Vision News Weekly.
Each week, we take some time to hear some of the work done by our broadcast partners at Troy Public Radio. As we do each week, we'll get another sample of Talk of Troy, the student-produced newscast of Troy Public Radio. Let's take a listen.
It's the Talk of Troy. Voices and sounds from the campuses of Troy University. I'm Thomas Gleaton. While many of us use social media every day, we might not be using it as effectively as we could be. Producer Christian Knight says a new class at Troy will help business professionals become social media savvy.
According to Matt Clower, Troy University's social media architect, businesses can have better social media strategies. They just need some guidance.
I hope people that come to the class walk away with maybe some confidence and a sense that social media is something that is not so overwhelming that it can be accessible.
Clower's seminars aren't just for business professionals, they're also for students.
And I do think students could get something out of it if they wanted to take the time, because having some experience and know-how with social media would be a great bit of experience to have on your resume.
For more information about the social media seminar series, visit troy.edu/CE. For the Talk of Troy, I'm Christian Knight.
On October 15th, the Nairobi Chamber Chorus will be visiting Troy University to perform as part of their North American tour. James Brown is the assistant professor of choral music at the John M. Long School of Music. He says the spirit of the Nairobi Chamber Chorus is similar to that of Troy University.
They're all about cross-cultural and their experience, and I think that would be a unique experience here at Troy University as we acknowledge ourselves as an international university here in Alabama.
Brown first heard the choir when he was visiting Africa, and the performance stayed with him.
All of us have had once-in-a-lifetimes that we cherish forever, and it could be a song, it could be something that someone said, but here we get to celebrate community in such a unique way.
The concert will begin at 9:30 a.m. in the band room in Long Hall and is open to the public. I'm Thomas Gleaton, and you've been listening to The Talk of Troy, a production of Troy Public Radio.
Throughout the week, Troy Public Radio can be heard on 89.9 in Troy and Montgomery, 88.7 in Dothan, and 91.7 in Phoenix City. Well, it's time for our last break. When we return, we'll learn about Troy Theater's upcoming production of The Crucible. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
This is Dr. Daniel Smith. He's an expert in domestic and international economics. But his proudest achievement is connecting with his students and helping them accomplish more than they ever thought possible. That's the warrior spirit, and it's alive and well at Troy University. Feel it at troy.edu/spirit. The warrior spirit, it's in there. Always has been. Now let it out and take the world by fire. Train well and learn what it means to be a Troy Trojan. Walk with confidence, conquer, claim territory, and climb ladders. Know that you have the power to stand alone, but the comfort of knowing that you'll never have to. Discover your inner warrior. Find it at troy.edu/spirit.
Now back to Troy Trojan Vision News Weekly.
The Salem witch trials will come to life on the Trojan Center stage next week in the theater department's production of The Crucible. The show is the topic of this week's Trojan Talk. Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. Today we'll be talking about the upcoming production by Troy's Theater Department. The director, Quentin Cockrell, is here to talk to us about The Crucible. Quentin, thanks for joining us today.
No, thank you for having me.
And The Crucible, well known, probably the best telling of one of the, I guess, more weird times in American history, especially for this time of year appropriate. Talk a little about the Crucible.
The Crucible is a retelling of the Salem witch trials that happened in Salem, Massachusetts in 1692. Some girls fell ill, and from that, a lot of stuff broke loose. They started accusing people of witchcraft, and by the time it was over, 19 people were hanged. So Arthur Miller did a lot of research into the history of that time and wrote a play about it.
And now, obviously, a lot of people have seen various interpretations, both extreme fictional and probably a little bit more accurate depictions of the Salem witch trials over the years. But this, like I said, this was probably the most famous presentation of that. And so, how is it to live up to the expectations of a performance of this type that's been seen so many times or put on so many times in so many different venues?
It's really it's difficult at the beginning. Before you start, it's really difficult. But once you get into it and you fall in love with that play, and that play starts talking to you, as one of my mentors says, it becomes easier because you forget about all the outside stuff falls away. But it is daunting when you look at it and you see how well written it is. And Arthur Miller's account is really pretty historically accurate. He added a little romance in there that sort of went bad and got everything going. I took a little bit of license with that, but a lot of the characters are straight out of the history books. So there's a lot there to explore, and so you don't really have time to worry about it. You just do it.
And talking about that, how much in the preparation of the cast and yourself have you gone back and looked at some of the historical references, or are you just going by the book and working with what you've got there?
As the director, I believe, I started, when I realized we were doing this, it was last spring, so I started almost immediately reading as much as I could about Arthur Miller. I think I read 4 biographies, looked at every play that he ever wrote to see what common themes, because our job is to interpret. What is this writer trying to say? And I want to make sure that I'm true to that. So I spend a lot of time, I encourage my cast to spend time researching their characters. Other than that, we do spend a lot of time in the text trying to wring it for everything that we can.
And of course, the interpretation of the Crucible is always an interesting concept, because a lot of people like to take the Crucible and the themes and the witch hunts and relate it to the modern world. But I would assume this is something because they originally think, oh, this is colonial times, but it does have themes that hold true to this day.
Oh, most certainly. Arthur Miller wrote it in response to what was going on with the communist witch hunts, in the mid-20th century. And I think there are a lot of things that relate today. The dangers of theocracy, of mixing state and religion too much. I don't know what we're willing to do to each other in order to save ourselves, and how power can manipulate us, the common folk, with fear.
And of course, I guess it doesn't hurt to have a witch-themed production around the Halloween time.
Around Halloween, that was a stroke of luck, I think, a coincidence. Yes. But it worked out well, as those things do.
And of course, now let's talk a little about the production itself and when folks can see it. It's going to be a part of an already action-packed weekend here at Troy University, but it gives an opportunity to shoe in a little bit of non-athletic fun to the homecoming weekend. Talk about the performances.
It is homecoming week. Our opening is on October 14th. Performances this year start at 7 o'clock, not 7:30. That's been a change. But October 14th at 7, 15th, 16th.
And that's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yes, and then Saturday we're taking off, so everybody can go to the game.
Enjoy the game.
And then there's a Sunday matinee, which is the 18th, and our final performance is a Monday, which is the 19th.
All right.
And all those evening performances are at 7.
And so, a lot of opportunity to see it. And where is it going to be?
It's at the Trojan Center Theater, and tickets are available at the Trojan Center box office.
Okay. And obviously, not a very big house.
Right.
It's a sizable house, but tickets for your performances go fast.
They go very quickly. We sell out quite often.
So an opportunity, anybody who wants to get a ticket, they need to probably get on the ball and get that. So,
exactly.
All right, Quentin, we'll break a leg with the performance of the Crucible, and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Aaron.
And thank you for joining us on today's edition of Trojan Talk. And that's what happened on the first week of October 2015. To find out what's happening throughout the week, you can tune into Troy TrojanVision News at 5, 6:30, and 10:30, Monday through Friday, or anytime by following us on Twitter at Troy TV News. Also, feel free to like our Troy TrojanVision News Facebook page to see links to online content from Troy TrojanVision News. We hope you join us again next week for another edition of Troy TrojanVision Weekly. Have a good week.